this is one angle you guys are talking about. There's another angle where the parents forget about investing. They just have their investment is the sperm and the egg.
That brings
That brings the children. So they bring more children. That's the investment. That they are bringing children out to the world so that they can go and also.
I don't understand it.
So they can go and also, right?
Yes.
And one of them will succeed.
I am of the opinion that I think you need to guide your child a little bit. You understand? Obviously, as a child, you have passion, but you still have to contend with the realities of life.
Yeah.
I even believe that part of the reason that society is suffering a lot is because of lack of like guidance from parents, more involvement.
There's
parents.
that. Someone told me that Nigerian parents act like their children are their retirement plans. They said that Nigerian parents don't even care about their children's happiness. They only care about their own bragging rights. That's why today on Mindshift, we want to talk about the parental influence on their children's career choices. My name is Oga Peter, and today we have the usual gang. Fine boy Raj, fine boy Sam. I like
Fine
to
boy
call
Peter.
that. No, I mean, think about it. Raj for the girls, Fanta, Coke, mixture,
That's what we got.
and everything. But yeah, now here's my personal take, because we live in Africa, we live in Nigeria, where parents is expected. I mean, even in Igbo land, there's this adage. I don't know if it's an adage. You know how people say a lot of things. So our people say
They will say.
that if the parents finish training the children will in turn begin to train the parents back. And I think that it is on that basis that some parents want their children to go into career fields that have stability and some sort of job security, or that has potential for success, so that their children will make a very good living to be able to in turn take care of them. Do you think that that is a very good intention?
So I like the adage you gave, or the saying that your
Yeah,
people say,
our
because
people
we
say.
have something similar with my people too.
Okay.
But they say tí òkété bá dàgbà, ọmú ìlú máa ń mu. It means òkété is like this bush rat, this bush
Okay.
meat. That when it grows old, it is the breast of his children it will suck.
Wonderful. So
It's very similar to what you just said. Too.
so that means that it's the responsibility of that okete
yes,
to make the children's breast
exactly succulent
so
for
it will have something to exactly. So do you think that that is a good thing for parents to influence the career choices of their children? Shouldn't the child's passion matter based on that okete thing?
Based on the okete thing.
Okay, you wanna
No,
buttress
go.
that?
Okay, so jump in.
So man, wow.
By the way, did your parents do that to you?
Funny enough, not really, no.
Because
No.
as far as Nigerian parents are
think-
concerned,
I
you are
think-
either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, or you are a whatever.
Yeah. I actually agree with you that, or rather, I am of the opinion that I think you need to guide your child a little bit. You understand? Obviously, as a child, you have passion, but you still have to contend with the realities of life.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I even believe that part of the reason that society is suffering a lot is because of lack of like guidance from parents, more involvement. from
There's
parents.
that. There's that.
So I think I tend more towards more parental investment. You need to be able to channel your child's passion, right? And give him enough information about life for him to understand that, yes, this thing that you're passionate about, you have to show me that you are really about it. Otherwise, I would rather invest, because it's an investment at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is an investment.
I'm investing money, I'm investing time. We get old.
But why is the investment supposed to be about you?
Nah,
I mean, who says your kids necessarily want to be rich? Do you get like
being
it's
rich?
no think about it.
Is it about being rich?
Think about it. I mean, there are
Is that why
people
they
who would
invest?
tell you. No, I mean, so for example, are you saying that if the parents are not going to get anything out of me they are not going to send me to school? Isn't it their duty?
No, see, based on the Okete gist,
Yeah, isn't it
if I
their
was going to
duty
analyze it too,
to
that
send me to
Okete
school?
gist too is more like something I say too, that this is one angle you guys are talking about. There's another angle where the parents forget about investing. They just have their investment is the sperm and the egg.
That brings,
That brings the children. So
yeah.
they bring more children. That's their investment. They are bringing children out to the world so that they can go and also,
I don't understand it.
so
But
that they
go
can
on.
go and also, right?
Yes.
And one of them will succeed, and that will be the breasts.
But no,
that they will
that's a
suck on.
different kind of arrangement.
I said that's another
Because-
arrangement again.
I don't know what arrangement you talking about, bro.
Because some of
This
these
breast you
parents
be talking
don't-
about.
some of these parents don't want the children to hustle, so they're trying to guide them into career paths that won't require them to hustle. Do you understand? For example, in medicine, every doctor, it's very difficult to see a doctor that is jobless,
Yes.
right? Because of their value in the society. Let me not say every doctor, but most doctors have the potential to be comfortable. They might not be
Yes.
rich, but comfortable. And the certain degree of job security that comes with being a doctor.
And respect.
So, yes, and
Societal
respect,
respect,
and
very
prestige. So that is
Yeah.
what the parents foresee when they say you're going to be a doctor. It's just that in some instances, the child's head cannot carry what it's supposed to carry. and you also find in some situations the child would finish medicine and say, okay, I've done this for my parents. Now let me face my life. Does it make sense? Is it fair that you go through 6 years of university and then come out to say, I want to dance like Pokoli?
Yo, fouls.
Yeah, you mentioning fouls.
I don't
What
know.
about me
I
now?
don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
Yeah,
an-
so
I'm a prime
you're a
example
perfect
too,
example
so-
in this
Yes,
Okete
so that's
thing.
why I said so. So
No
that's
one
the
that
thing.
no one that I talk about.
No, so let me analyze the thing. Why I
Yeah.
mentioned that Okete thing is the Okete thing is what I described now.
Yeah, of course.
It's
yeah.
very. It's, I said there are different angles to it. There's this angle
Yeah.
So, but
of
what's the
a
angle?
parent, this career choosing for your child,
Yeah.
and a part where you're not choosing a career, you're just choosing that one of them will succeed and come and fend for you in
Yeah.
the later future. But on this angle, I feel like it is not fair for parents to force or enforce a particular profession or career on their children. I mean, it gets as bad as those rich people, those ones who are wealthy, they enforce that their child takes their position. So they try to enforce them to read a particular course
Yeah.
so that when they finish, they can take over the company. And meanwhile, the child is not even interested in that field. He wants to do something different. He wants to go into the entertainment world. He wants to be a DJ. He
Yeah,
wants to
but
do something
I
different.
find that, I think there's another thing I've observed. I find that when people talk about wanting to chase their passion, it's usually artistic in nature. So when people want to go into dancing, singing, that's when they say, oh, I have another passion I want to chase. You hardly find kids say,
Yeah,
my
passion
passion is
is
to
to-
fly drones. My passion is to build robots. Well, in recent time it's happening. But I mean, in the very basic level, it's very difficult. And parents of those, I mean, our parents are Gen X and
Yeah.
boomers and all.
Yeah.
They consider those things as play fields.
Exactly.
What
They don't
can
take
you
it as
make out
serious.
of singing and dancing? They want something
It's just
serious.
like hobby. Something you just do for fun, not for money.
think that makes sense, that parents want something serious for their children? Serious in quotes. Because how can you tell me you want to be
But
dancing?
actually, do you know why? Because most of our parents, they align with the way our government is right now, the way we feel our government is. That's where I feel like our parents align with. Because even during their time when the government was there, they just followed whatever they did, and now they blame it on us that we are the lazy, we can't fight for. So why I'm saying it is because the government too, or Nigeria has a plan for you. Meanwhile, you also have a plan for yourself. We will not see which one will succeed. Either it's Nigeria's plan or your own plan. So parents' plans will align with the government's plan.
But
Which is
what do you think? You're just smiling. Did you
Yeah,
did you have that experience?
You know what I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the women. Because I know that today, right, especially Igbos, right, a lot of the time there's this thing where that happens that the failings of the parents get transferred
Exactly.
to the children.
They want
So
to live
specifically-
vicariously
so
their children.
specifically, I think that aspect now, I think that is the thing that actually carries a lot of weight and can be very negative because it affects their confidence. It
Yeah.
affects your identity as a person. There are I've met certain ladies right? And you're getting to know them. Maybe you want to date them or something. And then when you hear them talk, you just be wondering, like, when you meet someone, right, they give you a picture of themselves,
Yeah.
and they give you different information, and you kind of put everything together to make a picture of who they are. Then there are certain people that they tell you, I like this thing, I do this, but the picture doesn't mesh
It doesn't.
together.
It doesn't
You
add
just
up.
start wondering that this you look like a laid back person, but the way you are so money oriented like this, what's going on? You get me? The way you are so particular. But when you and I are one on one, and maybe there are certain things you don't look like you even want to be doing this. You understand? You don't really ask me for money. But when we talk about the idea of the kind of guy that you want, you hear the girl espousing, oh, I want the guy that's this money. Oh, if he doesn't have this, he cannot do this with me, or he cannot do that with me. And then you just start wondering, where are these ideas from? That mental pressure
Yeah.
on them. Parents tend to put that on their children. I think we need to, as in parents, need to be careful. If you look at a young girl, right, you look at the mom, 90% of the time, she will take after her mom. From my experience, right, if I meet a babe now, and I look at the way her mom behaves, is your mom married or is she single? Does she have a husband or she's not? If she's from a broken home, there's a very, very good chance that girl's what do they call it? They call it attachment style.
Yeah.
In psychology.
It definitely
right?
it would affect the
Thank you.
child's
So
mind.
a lot of
But
these
how
things-
does that relate to the parental influence in the career choices?
Yes.
of-
And you
of
know
the
that
girl?
if I failed at something
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
I want you to succeed at it. So it will now make me want to overemphasize.
So do you think that it's good it's born out of good intention? I don't want you to feel the
Yes.
way I feel.
Yes.
But then is there no recourse to what this child wants?
I think
Do you get? Because I feel
yeah.
like in some instances there are some parents who wants to be mama doctor, yeah, lawyer, right? It's about the prestige, and the
prestige,
societal
yeah.
standard of success. Yeah, lawyer. Do you want to,
Yes.
like, they make a lot of things about themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes, if you notice, let me digress a little bit. Sometimes, even when the child is engaging in some type of vices, for example, you hear parents tell their, do you want to bring shame to me? Do you want to embarrass me?
Yeah.
Do you know, me,
Yes.
me. Why not tell the child this thing you're about to do is going to have so effect on you?
Yes.
Do you understand?
agree.
Now, because
Yeah.
when the emphasis is on me, family, the person is wondering, where is me in all these things?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where you push the child says, okay, since it's going to be you that will be embarrassed, and I don't see any way this
Our
thing affects
rebel.
me,
Yeah.
Rebellion.
they'll now turn to rebellion. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
I know. So in med school, when I was in school, I know people who would finish from medicine and said, okay, this is for my father. Let me go and look for what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
Should it be like that? Should you have to go through all that just to please your parents and then start doing something else when you have a very short life?
It's sad, but
It's
I'm
difficult.
looking at it from. I'm also
It's
looking at it from the angle of the
difficult
parents. How do
Okay.
the parents
Yeah.
feel too?
Yeah.
So let's expand
how
on
would
that.
they feel? Because this is someone a parent told me this. I went to see a client and he was telling me about a son that came, and after the guy even studied abroad, and when he finished, he practically gave the certificate to his dad and said, "Dad, here is your certificate. This is not for me. I did it for you," kind of thing. And I'm like, and when I was saying that, I saw the pity in his face, like as a parent, like.
Yeah, but whose fault was it?
Lori that went through all of this stress, do all of those things to make sure that he has a better future. That's how they are thinking.
I think there is a blackmail aspect to it.
I know
you
they might be
went through all this for me. To what end? Like, what's the intent?
Their intent is for you to come out as someone who is going to better the country or better yourself and better the society at large. That's their intent.
You just said something that I'm going to talk on now. Because while you guys are talking, right, I've been thinking about we need to also approach it from a societal angle. Because it's just like we're a unit. The smallest unit of a society is a family.
Yeah.
We all know this. And how you raise your child is going to affect me and affect my own child.
True.
If you raise your child to be a bastard, is going to affect my
Because
daughter.
they will all
Yeah,
meet.
Because
it
my
is.
daughter has to find somebody to marry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Abi?
Yes.
My daughter has to rely on you. My son has to rely on that other person
Yeah.
to be somebody so that we can all grow as an economy and as a society,
True.
right? So what you said just as in it just keyed into me, and I said I should point that out. When you are raising, like, the angle of thinking out is not just about yourself, right? Life is about thinking about your parents, thinking about all the people that have invested in you. I had this interesting conversation with a lady, and we're talking about marriage, and she said something about that. Once she meets a guy, a man, and I know a lot of women, modern day women, feminists, I want feminists,
Ah,
they like this. Once I meet a man, it's my decision, I choose, blah blah blah.
yeah.
Whatever my parents have to say, that's their
That's
problem.
their
If they don't have,
business.
if they have an issue with him, that's their business. It's me, my life, my choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I said, this is what I said. I said, look, life is balance, right? I cannot marry, like, sorry, it would be difficult for me to marry a lady that my mom does not love.
Makes sense.
Because I said, look,
Makes sense.
as I am like this now, my mom has invested. My dad is late, rest his
Yeah.
soul.
Makes-
So they have invested in me. My uncle has invested certain amount of money in me at a certain time, money, time, and attention. They have poured into me experience. You understand? To make me part of the kind of man I am now. What you are enjoying, somebody built.
Yeah.
Now you are telling me that when it's time to take one of the most important decisions in my life, I'm going to neglect their family. I said, no. Family, marriage is not done like that. And when you start practicing, when you start moving towards individualism and that narcissistic mindset, me, guess what happens? Society breaks down.
So I think that there
Yeah.
should be a balance. Now, when it comes to marriage, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Look, I know that you're feeling what you're feeling. I know the difference between that for career and for marriage is that there are things your parents know about this thing that you don't know.
The
But even the same
experience.
thing with
Right
marriage.
now, I'm talking about the marriage.
Even the
aspect.
marriage aspect
Yeah,
that
yeah.
There are
they're more
things that they
experienced,
know
than
that
you.
you don't
certain
know.
things.
Exactly.
You need to listen to them
You need
in
to
that
listen.
aspect.
You need to take it into account.
But when it comes to career choice,
Yes.
you also need to listen to them. But I think that the parents need to listen more.
yes.
Do you
Exactly,
understand?
yeah.
Do you
Yes.
get? But because I know that sometimes it could be with good intention.
Yeah.
It makes. I mean, every parent will want
everybody
their
wants
child,
their child to be, yeah.
But have you noticed that a lot of the successful people that veered off had to do that in rebellion?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So it's like just to tie everything up together
Yeah.
and then to have a very organized thought
View
of
of it.
solution. Because should we continue in this trajectory of children having to rebel before they can make something out of their lives? You see people, if you ask many of the singers, they will tell you, initially my father did not agree, but when they started making money, the parents aligned.
Parents, yeah.
What does that tell you? Because their interest is not the child's fulfillment or happiness.
happiness.
It's what comes
It's
from
what
it.
comes from it, yeah.
Because if you are so bent on your child being a doctor, how come now that he's making money from dancing on TikTok, you don't mind?
That also says a lot. You just said something that says a
So
lot.
is it
too.
poverty?
It's even
Poverty,
a question.
yeah.
Even a question. It even questions the morality of the parents. In a
Well,
way.
it's all these
Like,
angles
you are
are
willing
on
to
the
throw
table.
away.
Yes.
You are willing to throw away.
You don't
all
care about
that-
the child's happiness.
You understand? You are willing to. It's like now. A lot of these things too is also ego driven.
Oh,
that
there's
thing
that.
that you mentioned, you said my son
My,
is a
yeah,
is a-
why
yes,
should my
is
son be a
doctor.
dancer?
My son
When
is
I'm
a
a-
renowned
I'm
surgeon.
telling my friends and this.
Exactly.
So imagine now you are willing to throw away all that, because part of the argument that some of these parents use is that it's not decent. How do you want to
Yeah.
be showing your ass on TikTok, or how do you want to be doing this on what do you call it? On you want to be dancing for so that people can be. It's
Yeah.
not decent.
Yeah,
It's not
decent,
respectable.
it's not respectable.
But you're
And
willing
it's not
to-
cultural, it's not something that
And the minute the person can pay your bills,
When
all
it
of a
start,
sudden.
it start bringing money, then you.
then they
So,
just
so
look
have
away.
your parents ever forced a career choice on you? Did they try? How did it turn out? Right. And also, do you think that parents should have influence in the career choices of their children? Now, of course, not every situation is the same.
Yeah.
All right. We should not assume that every child knows what they want to do with their lives. So there's also the aspect of parents guiding the child towards a direction that they should go. My problem is when it is enforced, when the child knows and they already show, interest in a different field, and the parents are forcing them. That's where I have problem with, because you see your child is preparing to be an athlete, and you said no, no, you want to go and be playing ball, you want them to break your legs, your mates are going to law school, you want to be, and then when he gets signed to a big club, you come out on TV, that's my son. Do you understand? So I understand that there are kids who don't know what they really want to do. In that regard, parents can provide guidance, help. But another thing that you can do to make that make sense is if parents can observe their kids
Yeah.
instead of having an already
I was just about to
this
say
thing,
that.
they already have it in
Exactly.
their mind that I'm going to have three kids.
This
One will
one
be
is this.
doctor, one will be lawyer, one will be
And
engineer.
if
Fine.
You
I
already
may even
programmed your
add to that,
mind.
yeah, if I may even add to that, right? I think it's also what's the word I was looking for?
I hope it's what I'm
I
pondering.
don't forget to.
Well.
I hope it's what I'm pondering.
Wait,
What I was
So
pondering,
what are you pondering?
What
what
were
I
you
was pondering
pondering? Yeah.
is also from same angle, but some parents also put that on their children because they wanted to be that person, but because they were not,
They couldn't.
they
So they
couldn't. So
need
they
one.
want to
Now
make
I
their
now I
child
remember
Yes.
what I
or
was
those
going
their
to
children
say.
Yes.
do it.
What I was going to say is that being a parent is a never-ending process of learning how to be a parent.
Mhm.
You understand? I think a lot of people forget that, right? So a lot of the times people just go into parenthood with what they were given from their parents.
Mm.
You understand?
Where there's that.
And you need to understand that being a parent, you need to keep improving and your understanding of what being a father is,
Yeah.
being aware. You
But,
understand?
but anyway, we're not really, talking about how to raise kids or
Mm,
parenting in
And
general,
because that awareness now will
because
speak to you listening to your child.
well,
You
yeah,
get it?
there's that
If
yeah.
part.
you don't know that, like now, there are certain things that your child go through.
Mm.
If your child say he has passion for something, you don't know where that passion is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That passion might be coming from a negative place. It could be coming from a positive place. Because there are
True.
also people that follow their passion and failed.
Yes. No,
Yes.
it
And
doesn't mean
realize,
that you will
and
succeed
realize, you
mean
later.
it's
understand?
yourself,
So
Yeah.
you sometimes, even that psychology, I know there's this stigma about psychologists.
Mm.
You need to be able to learn your child.
Yes.
Be aware, be involved.
Yes.
So that when you start seeing signs, you know how to handle that conversation and
True.
treat that person like someone that can reason.
It
Yeah.
makes sense, and mostly
so.
we're talking to the next generation of parents, right? And even the older parents that might be watching this, you might have teenage kids who want to do something, right? It doesn't make sense to go the route of rebellion. I think you
Yeah.
have good intentions for them, we understand, but it's important to also listen to them. They are humans, they have choices, right? They are not telling you they want to go and do something outrageous or
Yeah.
illegal. So you can observe them. Do they have this in them? Is it something they can do? Instead of investing your money in training them to be something else, why not try and put your attention? Let me see if this boy or this girl really has this thing in them,
Yeah.
right? And also for the younger people, then it's not a quarrel. You need to understand that your parents think the best for you,
Beautiful.
right? So they want you to
I love that.
succeed.
I love that.
So they are not telling you to do something that
Rebellion is not always the way.
it's not that rebellion would
It's
make you
always the way.
succeed.
Conversation.
You don't always have to rebel.
Yeah, go to your parents,
talk
have
to
that
them,
conversation.
get them to understand where you're coming from. And I think that the society will be better for it because
Beautiful.
we don't want to have lawyers that are teller
Yeah.
in banks, and then we don't want to have doctors that end up being OAPs and all of that.
And we don't want to have creative accountants.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's TikTok now. Everybody can show themselves there,
As
so it doesn't
in-
matter.
Yeah, it's all good,
Anyway,
it's all good,
drop
yeah.
your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it makes sense for parents to influence their children's career? Share, subscribe, like. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Fine boy Raj, fine
Thank you
boy
so
Sam.
much. Thank you.
Oga Peter out.